Greetings demons and welcome to another Fortnite discussion video, and in this video I just wanted to kind of go over everything that we know about as well as everything that is theorized to be coming from Disney based collaborations. So that's obviously Marvel, Star Wars, Disney Animation and Pixar, because we have stuff from all of them upcoming. And yeah, especially with D23 just having happened, if you want to see my reaction to all that, you can check that out on the channel. I'll also link it in the description below and hopefully on a card if I remember. I just want to go over everything anyway and see exactly what there is to kind of be excited for, because there is a lot. So that's enough preamble, let's just jump straight into it and yeah, run that intro.
Not the leader of a cult, RabbitWithAxe.
So, starting off, I just want to go over a few things that have actually already released since the actual D23 presentation, just because I think it's still worth mentioning that they, exist. And that, of course, is from Star Wars, the IG-11 skin with the Grogu backbling, as well as Moff Gideon in his, essentially his Season 3 attire, his, Mandalorian-style armor. And yeah, these guys are currently in the stores of making this video, and they are really cool. I really do like them. IG-11 has the weirdest looking Lego style because they've made him into a minifigure. And if you don't know already, in Lego, any sort of droid unit, like an IG-11 type droid unit, is using completely different parts to a regular minifigure. It uses the same parts as like a battle droid. So it's very odd seeing it as a minifigure. I do kind of like it in a weird way, and I kind of do hope we get physical versions of that in the future, but that's a Lego thing, that's beside the point. But yeah, these two are very cool. Obviously, the Grogu backbling is a great way to now get Grogu outside of, his previous appearance in the Battle Pass. And yeah, overall, very good showing from Star Wars. And then coming from that, we also have the potential in the future for the Armorer. Now, this is something that people haven't spoken about too much, mostly because nothing has been confirmed, but the reveal for IG-11 and Grogu, as well as Moff Gideon, included voiceover and an image of the Armorer. So, to me, that kind of implies eventually we'll get the Armorer, though obviously it's not part of this current selection. But yeah, who knows really? When it comes to the Armorer, it's kind of up in the air, but I would definitely say there's potential that she'll come to Fortnite in the future. And once again, just like with IG-11 and Moff Gideon, probably as a store item, as an actual item shop purchase. But moving on, we can cover the Marvel stuff that's already come out, and that is the X-Men bundle. And obviously, this came out immediately after D23. Technically, it had already released a few days earlier by accident, but was quickly removed after about an hour of being in the item shop. The X-Men bundle includes Jubilee, Cyclops, and Colossus, all in their classic, well, I say classic, in their Jim Lee attire, and honestly, these are all great skins. Personally, not overly interested in any of them, though I will say the Colossus emote is excellent, and kind of makes me want to just get, at the very least, Colossus, if not the entire bundle. But besides all that, Jubilee looks great, looks like Jubilee. Cyclops is Cyclops, the most boring X-Men character, but still, people like him, I understand why. And then Colossus is Colossus. If you're a fan of Deadpool, it's not the same outfit, it's not exactly the same look, but it's another character to add to that kind of Deadpool movie roster if you're trying to build that. And yeah, in general, this is a very good bundle, is in the shop right now, and yeah, definitely recommend getting it if you're an X-Men fan. But speaking of X-Men and just Marvel in general, we of course are about to, as of recording this, it's about a day away, get the new season, Chapter 5, Season 4, Absolute Doom. And this of course is a Marvel themed season, and is going to have a number of included skins. So, in no particular order, we are getting Gwenpool, which, if people don't know, is essentially the Gwen, as in Spider-Man's Gwen, mixed with Deadpool. Very interesting character, breaks the fourth wall, is potentially one of the most powerful characters in Marvel, and on top of that, is, within the context of her comics, actually someone from the real world that goes into comics. It's a very interesting story. If you are interested in Gwenpool, I definitely recommend, reading up on her. She's a very interesting character. One of my favourites. I do have a little bit of merchandise from her, mostly in the form of Funko Pops, but nevertheless, very cool character, very excited to see her, and obviously adding to that roster of Deadpool characters, even if she's not necessarily directly connected to Deadpool in that typical sense. Very similar aesthetics at the very least, and just generally a very cool character. We're also getting War Machine. Now, this is very much a comic version, but kind of leaning on that MCU appearance. And yeah, War Machine, it's Rhodey, obviously, in the Mark II modified. It does appear to be that style of suit, though obviously it could be one of the various extra marks of War Machine armor. It's kind of hard to tell, especially in Fortnite's art style, but it doesn't really matter. It's War Machine. Really cool skin, really cool to get a new Iron Man armor character, even if it isn't Iron Man himself, and hopefully that we will get another Iron Man, especially with the Iron Man Mythic returning. I would be surprised if War Machine was the only armor that we actually get during this season, but War Machine is the only one in the actual Battle Pass. But yeah, very, very cool skin. Very much looking forward to this one. And next up, we do have Peelverine, which is obviously a mixture between Wolverine and Peely. This is a character we've been expecting for a very, very long time, ever since the original Marvel season where Peely actually gets banana claws. And yeah, it's been a long time running. There's been a lot of Peelverines running around Disney World, whichever one it was, which has been really fun to actually watch. There's been about a dozen of them just kind of in real life walking around the park, which is weird. But yeah, definitely very cool. Once again, crossover skins, not the most interesting thing that they could have done, and I understand a lot of people actually do like these things, especially with the previous Bright Bomber version of Captain America, obviously Cuddle Team Leader as Deadpool and Raven as Deadpool and stuff like that. People really do like those skins, and I understand it completely. For me, not that interesting, but yeah, a new one of those, Peelverine. And speaking of the combo characters, we do have Captain Jonesy, this of course being Captain America and Jonesy combined, assuming this is probably going to be Agent Jones's current attire for the season in terms of like the story. But yeah, it's another Captain America variant. As I say, we already have the Bright Bomber version, which is Bright Star. And yeah, just adding to that collection. So we now have quite a few different versions of Captain America between, original Steve Rogers, we have Sam Wilson, Bright Star, and now Captain Jonesy. A very nice selection, if I do say so. But once again, not the most interesting, just on the basis of being a combo between a Fortnite original character and a Marvel character. To me, not the most interesting, but I'm sure people are going to really, really enjoy this character when he comes in the Battle Pass. Moving over to a villain, we do have Emma Frost. Now, this is a X-Men villain, famous for a number of the X-Men films, including First Class. She has the ability to have her skin turn to like a glass or diamond material. A very interesting character, has some psychic abilities as well. Not a character I'm overly familiar with, but just a character I'm familiar with thanks to, seeing her in various media. And yeah, Emma Frost, very nice aesthetic, has that kind of white, feathered look. As in, not the feather design overall, but just like what's it even called? The neck feathers? I can't remember. But just a very nice design, and yeah, a good character to add to the villain roster especially. And for X-Men fans, definitely a good addition. Moving on to a different villain, we have Mysterio, obviously from Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. He is probably best known from his appearance in the Spider-Man Far From Home movie, and yeah, this is a traditional comic-style version of him. It's really fun how, in the trailer especially, they play on the fact that multiple of Mysterio can be, visible at once. We're assuming that he's probably going to have some sort of mythic ability to duplicate himself, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, Mysterio, he's the big ball-headed guy. Not really too much else to say about him. He's got his gauntlets that are kind of shaped like lanterns and stuff like that. Very interesting looking character. And yeah, very accurate to the source material, but nothing much else to say. If you know Mysterio, you're probably going to enjoy this skin. Otherwise, yeah, it's another one for the Battle Pass. Then, moving back to good guys, we actually have Black Panther Shuri. And yeah, I'm very excited for this one. Shuri is one of my favorite characters in the MCU. In the comics as a whole, I'm not as big a fan of her. But yeah, especially after Wakanda Forever, I've been a huge fan of Shuri as a character. And yeah, very exciting to get her variant of Black Panther. It's a shame that we're not getting a more original character, but I do understand that Shuri is actually important within the Fortnite Marvel crossover comics. So it does make sense in the long run to have Shuri introduced here. I almost feel like she should have been introduced in a different bundle, potentially, with some other characters, maybe with Namor. But for now, I'm fine with Shuri being in the Battle Pass, and it does open the potential. We could end up getting a bundle in the future, or a different variant of her that looks a bit more traditional Shuri. But at the same time, I'm perfectly happy with this variant of her, this, style of her. And yeah, Shuri, a great character to be adding to the roster. And then finally, obviously, we have the main man himself, Doctor Doom. This is the character the entire season is based around, and this is an all-new version of the character compared to what we saw previously, because previously it was a far more traditional, classic-style Doom. This time we have the more modern variant, and yeah, I think he looks great. I think the skull mask works really, really well, and in general, I think it's just good that more people are going to have the opportunity to get such an iconic character. It's almost a shame that they keep locking Doctor Doom behind the battle passes, but at the same time, I'm sure we're going to get an MCU version in the future, especially with the big announcement, which I'm not going to spoil just in case you haven't actually seen that. But yeah, Doctor Doom, when he eventually gets into the MCU, is going to be very interesting. I'm sure he's going to get a style of his own. But yeah, Doctor Doom is coming back with a new look, and yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty interested in getting another Doom. I do like the original Doom. I think that will always be my favourite design, but this one looks great. It's got to be said. But moving on from the Battle Pass, we also know about at least 2 other skins that are going to be coming to the item shop, starting off with Sabretooth Meowscles. This is one that we've seen a lot of details about, because he appears directly in the trailer for the season, and yeah, it's another crossover variant between an original character and a Marvel character, this time being Meowscles as the X-Men villain or Wolverine rogue villain, Sabretooth. And yeah, this one works for me. I don't think it looks especially Sabretooth, but it's recognizable. I, immediately was able to recognize it as Sabretooth. And yeah, overall, pretty happy with that sort of combo. It does also mean you will have a counter to Wolverine. It's a shame that we're getting Sabretooth Meowscles before just a regular Sabretooth. But I suppose maybe he's down the line, maybe he's coming out eventually. But for now, I'm perfectly happy with this. Sabretooth Meowscles, very nice collaboration. It doesn't make sense, that a cat would be Sabretooth. But yeah, it's not the most interesting to me once again. But still, it's not bad. And then moving on to our final weird collaboration that is confirmed. This is Fishpool, and it's kind of what you expect. It's Fishstick and Deadpool combined. This was revealed once again at D23 by Deadpool himself, and yeah, definitely an interesting crossover there. It's good that we're getting a full selection of Peely, Jonesy. We've already got Bright Bomber, Meowscles, Fishstick, and just, it is a good selection of different characters that are getting these crossovers. Cuddle Team Leader and Raven as well. A lot of these iconic characters getting Marvel makeovers. Perfectly good to me. And yeah, another Deadpool variant for people that like those. Personally, like, Cuddle Team Leader is the best one that they've done. Cuddle Pool, I suppose. But yeah, definitely another good one to add to the collection. But now we're going to move over to some of the more theorized skins that could be coming out based on a few leaks and a few images that we've seen, as well as a little bit of information that, in some cases, was removed by Epic. So starting off with the one that I kind of think is the least likely, just because of the skin we just spoke about, Fishpool, and that is Dead Peel or Peel Pool, essentially a Peely version of Deadpool, very similar to the Wolverine, and personally, I don't see it happening, but we have seen a Dead Peel or Peel Pool, whatever you want to call it, at Disney parks alongside all the fish pools, and yeah, it does make sense. It's art that has existed for a very long time, weirdly enough, and yeah, it's about as likely as anything else. So yeah, Peely version of Deadpool might be in the works. We don't actually know right now, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if it did happen. And yeah, if it doesn't, not really the end of the world. I've got a feeling we'll at least get some sort of reference to it, even if it's like a spray. But yeah, still pretty cool potential there for another crossover character. And then otherwise, the other four characters that are theorized to be coming are, of course, the members of the Fantastic Four: Mr. Fantastic, the Invisible Woman, the Human Torch, and the Thing. And the only one of these that I have any doubts on is the Thing, purely because in some of the promo art we do see that Doom's throne on the island is weirdly enough made of the Thing. Bit of an odd feature there, but still, when it comes to Mr. Fantastic, the Invisible Woman, and the Human Torch, I'd expect these probably to be in a bundle as well as being sold separately, of course, and I'd expect them to be in their classic attire. We do know that there's going to be a Fantastic Four POI or little mini location on the map, which does make sense, obviously Doctor Doom being the main villain of this season. And yeah, it'd be weird if we go the entire season and don't get the Fantastic Four, especially when Epic, in their original blog post about the season, did say that we would be getting the Fantastic Four before they changed it to remove that. So I think it's pretty likely, pinch of salt as with, all of this, but yeah, I think it's pretty likely overall. But with all that being said, that is the Marvel section. So moving on to Disney classic animation, and we specifically have stuff only for Disney villains. And a lot of people have been suggesting this could be the paid physical release DLC pack that we often get. Obviously, the most recent one was the Transformers pack, and this will include Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook, and Maleficent. Now, at the very least, these are all going to come to the item shop. Most people are also assuming this is going to come around the time of Halloween, so all around Fortnitemares. And yeah, personally, I'm not too fussed about any of these characters. Cruella de Vil, obviously a very classic character. 101 Dalmatians is a really good film, but not really anything that I care too much for. Captain Hook, same sort of thing. I like, Peter Pan in general, as questionable as some of the themes in that film are. But at the end of the day, I don't care too much. And once again, it's another pirate. We just got the Pirates of the Caribbean collab from Disney. It seems a bit weird to so soon after have another pirate. But of course, if this ends up being a physical DLC release, I've collected all of those so far for the Switch. I'll just add that to the collection. It'll be another one that I have. And then we also have Maleficent, who, once again, character that I do enjoy. Snow White, I believe, is her origin, but obviously she has her own standalone movie. And yeah, Maleficent, not the most interesting character to me. Definitely aesthetically out of these three, my favourite. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said I was that interested in any of these. But the potential for future characters, something like a skin for Ursula from The Little Mermaid, or Doctor, I can't remember his name, from Princess and the Frog. Just, there's so many very cool looking characters that I think would work really well in the Fortnite art style. And yeah, the fact that they are starting with Disney villains, I think it's pretty likely we're going to get other iconic Disney villains, maybe even Gaston. That'd be very cool. But yeah, there's a lot of potential for this sub-theme within Disney. And yeah, Fortnite is going to get some Disney villains, whether we like them or not. But yeah, that is actually everything we have for Disney animation, which kind of a shame that we didn't get anything, on the side of Mickey Mouse, even if it was just a back bling or something like that. But I'm sure that's going to be something that happens in the future. Maybe something, for the good guys. Maybe even something like Baymax would be really cool. I know that's more recent, but yeah, when it comes to Disney animation, it includes the CGI stuff. So yeah, maybe Baymax from Big Hero 6. That's kind of a weird one because it's also kind of Marvel. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff that could happen from this collaboration. And I'm just excited for whatever ends up happening. But finally, that leaves us with the final arm of Disney, that being Pixar. And we only have one collaboration confirmed. It is for The Incredibles, one of my favourite Pixar movies, right up there alongside Monsters, Inc. and Toy Story. And yeah, we're going to be getting Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, and Frozone. So this will be what? Is it only the second Sam Jackson skin? I feel like we have a third, but I can't think what it is, because obviously we have Nick Fury. I may be wrong there. It might be the second. But yeah, either way, three of the most iconic characters in animation, in my opinion. Three great superheroes as well. And yeah, The Incredibles really means a lot to me, personally very excited to be able to actually play as these characters, especially Frozone. I love Frozone as a character. He's my favorite Pixar character, hands down. And yeah, having the option to play as these guys in Fortnite is going to be amazing, and hopefully we do get, other characters. I don't think they'd ever be able to do Dash as a playable character, but I mean, Violet is pretty tall. Maybe they could make her work. Syndrome, obviously, as well, be excellent. Any of the various other superheroes and villains from Incredibles 2 would also be great. And, hell, even the Underminer. Just give me the Underminer. But yeah, I'd probably expect we're going to get a back bling of Jack, maybe even in his monster form, which would be interesting, and just a lot of cool stuff to come from the Incredibles in Fortnite. But yeah, that is actually everything we have confirmed or theorized for Disney collaborations in the upcoming few months to potentially years. Obviously, all of the, big open world stuff happening with Disney is still a ways off. They have kept teasing it and keep mentioning that it's still in development, which is good to hear. But yeah, when it comes to actual characters and skins being introduced into Fortnite, that is everything we know so far. So on that note, that's going to be everything we have to discuss in this video. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like it, subscribe if you're new to it, and ring the bell so you can never miss an upload. Otherwise, comment below thoughts and feelings about any of the collaborations we've discussed in today's video. Are you excited about Absolute Doom? I'm very excited in Marvel Season 2 personally, but I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of themed battle passes and stuff like that. I get it, I understand, but let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Either way, that's going to be it from me, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Look at the screen, you'll be fine. Culture's a disease, but worlds divine. I just wanna take